Welcome back to the Intentional Household Podcast. Thanksgiving is meant to be a time of connection and gratitude, but it can quickly turn into a day of stress, exhaustion, and overdoing. In this episode, I'm joined by Tatiana to talk about how to bring more intention into your Thanksgiving, from the way we plan the meal to how we manage the day with our families. We'll share tips for balanced eating, dividing up the work, and creating space for presence and joy without burning out in the process. Tatiana, let's start by talking about the day leading up to the big meal.
Okay.
And the food that we're eating throughout the day before the big Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes. And we're talking about Thanksgiving coming up. And I think it's like any holiday meals, it can be stressful for people that are trying to maintain a healthy diet, if you will, because it's going to be much more caloric than normal. And it
100%.
is, there's family, there's pressure, there's like you're off of your routines, you know, you just possibly fall into a trap where you overdo it and then feel bad.
Yes. So the question is, what can people do to prevent overdoing it? So what you want to do is start your day like you normally would. If you generally eat breakfast, eat your breakfast. If you generally eat a morning snack and lunch, you want to do all of the things that you normally eat. Because when you skip your meals, that means that by the time you eat the big meal, you're starving. And that's when you're really going to overeat and take in even more calories than you otherwise would. So you want to follow your general diet as if it's a normal day.
Now, out of curiosity, if you like skipped breakfast and lunch, which I could never do because I'd pass out by by lunch. But I know other people are capable of doing this. So if they miss their, like, let's say they have, I don't know, what's a caloric breakfast? 300 calories?
Yes, let's just say.
Lunch, maybe not that far off. Would they consume that much if they were like, oh, I'm starving and they're going to eat a little bit more? Would they actually?
Would they overeat?
Get like,
I think
would they get enough like that's equal to almost 600 calories? That's a lot. It's like 2 meals. Meaning like if you wanted to be very conscious of calories. So if you're like, I'm trying to be in that calorie deficit.
Yes.
Would you, if you reduced your those 2 meals, would you actually overdo that for dinner?
I think that there's a really good chance because by that point, they're probably starving and ready to pass out. Or I mean, maybe not ready to pass out, but
I would be.
Probably quite hungry and their blood sugar level is quite low. And given all the food options, I do think there's a really good chance where people could have 2-3 plates of food.
Yes, that is true.
That's not uncommon.
Yeah.
So at least if they have some food in their system, maybe instead of 2 to 3 plates, maybe they'll have 1 to 3 plates.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 to 2 plates instead. So they may not just go for that extra serving that could really put them over the edge.
Plus, you're just probably a nightmare. If you normally don't, like if you normally keep your blood sugar, I would be.
For sure. And the other thing is, it's much more comfortable to eat a steady amount during the day without stuffing ourselves and feeling uncomfortable. So let's just say at the dinner, if the calories evened out to the breakfast and lunch that you skipped, but you're eating it all at one time, you might be pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then you have to go to sleep, you know, and all these things. It's avoiding the discomfort of that fullness as well.
Yeah. And I think also, again, if you're really trying to maintain a certain weight and it just all kind of goes back to like, what do you want to feel like? And what is important. And I think most of the times, if you are trying to be conscious of your diet and what you're consuming, it all has to be like realistic.
100%.
And maintainable, like
yes.
At the end of the day.
Yes. And it is one day. So
sometimes not.
Oh, that's true.
You can have marathon.
It could be multiple.
Thanksgivings.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which I think that's where you can really fall into a trap of just losing control completely. And you do kind of have to have a bit of a plan. Like you're going to have a lot of temptation around potentially. Like you can go to really big family gatherings where there's not only the actual meal, but there's appetizers and there's desserts and there's like, it's not just, you know, turkey and stuffing and that sort of stuff. It's like a plethora.
Okay, that's true.
So delicious food.
Let's talk about that. Appetizers. Or if there's just constant food put out that you can pick away at during the day. What are some smart food choices if you want to be mindful of your weight or caloric intake. So choosing fiber dense foods, even like crackers that are like whole grain crackers, if there might be cheese, hummus for protein, fruits and vegetables, nuts may also be out. I would focus on those things that will satisfy your hunger versus the refined calories, like the breads, that kind of thing.
Yeah, even with crackers, I think you have to be careful because they can be kind of fried, like almost like very, very high in sodium.
Yes.
And oil. It depends on the cracker. Like even some of those like cheese straws, and obviously cheese you can consume a lot of it very quickly. Like cheese boards, beautiful, look great, but you can almost eat an entire meal of calories just in that.
That's right. Session. And it's so easy to just pick away at it. Mm-hmm. So what I would...
Without feeling full.
Oh, yes. Without feeling full and not even realizing how much you're eating. Mm-hmm. So what I would do is always take a plate and put the food on the plate so that you can see how much you have taken in.
Rather than just kind of sitting and grazing.
Then you have no idea. Yeah. So put it on the plate first, eat it that way. Another one is beverages.
Yes.
You know, there might be a punch or I'm sure alcohol and whatnot.
Yeah.
But if there are things like juice or sugary drinks, I would really be mindful of the amount of
liquid sugar you're just going to
Yes, that's it, right? So focus on staying hydrated. If you're, water is going to help you also so that you don't feel so hungry.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when we are dehydrated, that can be mistaken for hunger. So still stay hydrated and just be mindful of your beverage intake.
Obviously, water is going to make you feel satiated as well. Mm-hmm. And just kind of help pause things for a minute too. If you're just like, if somebody, I think again, just they're not able to be as mindful.
No,
of
because
how
they're socializing.
They're socializing. They've lost track completely of what they're consuming. So just try to take breaks and just have water throughout that. So you just, again, you don't want to have this fun, festive meal and just feel terrible about it after and beating yourself up. And I think women do that a lot more.
Exactly. And, even if you are having some other beverage, maybe you have the water in between each beverage.
Yeah. Like
just to
try to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Have a glass of wine and then some water and then a soda, plain soda. And then if you want another glass of wine, that should help kind of pace you throughout the evening so you're not overdoing it. And same with like as you have all these like grazing platters or appetizers in front of you, it's kind of, I also think sticking to satiating items. Yes. There's grapes on that cheese platter. Make sure you have those as well.
Yes. The fiber containing foods for sure.
Vegetable platter for sure. Having those, and it'll just keep you being able to feel like you're enjoying the spread in front of you, but at the same time, you're not going to overdo it and just feel terrible after.
Exactly. And then let's talk about putting your plate together for the meal itself. If you are trying to be mindful, put the vegetables on your plate first. It's so easy to miss all the vegetables and fill up on turkey. And then the rest of the plate is just carb-containing foods. Lots of potatoes and stuffing and
then
buns.
drizzled with gravy.
Yes, who knows what else.
Yeah.
So I would really try to focus. If there are salads, if there are beans or squash, that kind of thing, try to make an effort to put that on your plate first. That helps to fill some of the space and then put the other food around it. If this episode made you think, smile, or take action, don't forget to follow the Intentional Household podcast. We drop new episodes weekly with real talk and helpful strategies to run your home like it matters, because it does.
I think actually Thanksgiving can be a very healthy dinner option.
Yes.
Turkey's great. Maybe don't have a lot of the skin. All of the root vegetables, delicious salads, all of that sort of stuff can actually be a very healthy meal. If it's just properly portioned and then you don't have to feel guilty after, you can actually nourish your body in a really great way with seasonal food and feel wonderful.
Yes, exactly. And then for dessert, you know what? If you want to have dessert, there's always a place for dessert. But how much dessert does someone need? And so there may be many options. Maybe try to choose one serving, or just if there are 3 options and you want all 3, just be mindful of how much you're taking in. You don't need to have a full serving of all 3 options.
Yes. And I think you mentioned something before we started this about how you don't believe in cheat meals. And I think a lot of people will associate that with these, festive occasions. I'm going to just save up and these are going to be my cheat times, or I'm going to allow myself to have dessert and just at these moments. Why do you think that is not a good way of viewing it? Or especially, again, you talked about not talking that way around children, your children.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I think it gives a very clear idea to our kids when we're talking about cheating or being good or being bad, that there are certain foods that we should eat, shouldn't eat. It's the holidays. This is really focused around, it's a social setting. It's celebrating and allowing ourselves to eat what we want, enjoying it in the moment. And the reality is the next time we eat our next meal, let's say it's tomorrow morning, focusing on making that, a regular balanced meal. If we're giving ourselves permission to cheat, it means that maybe we would be going all out and overindulging and going nuts.
Well, again, I think it's just coming down to like having a healthy relationship with food.
It really is.
If you're like, have these connotations of this is bad or I'm cheating, again, I think that just goes back to this, the mental state and your relationship with food. It is not helpful. And then you have to be mindful in front of children, passing that on without them understanding it.
That's right. And you don't want them to think that they have to define a food as good or bad. There is a place for everything in our diet, and every day is different. And so you just want to be mindful if you are in your mind having a cheat day. That's something that you can keep to yourself. You don't need to be announcing that to everyone, because now suddenly if your child is eating a piece of cheesecake, do you want them having the mentality that I'm just going to have a cheat meal and the rest of the time I'll focus on my fruits and vegetables? You want them to focus on, hey, fruits and vegetables are great, but there's a place where we can eat everything. And you don't want them to have to overanalyze or really think or label a food as a certain way.
Absolutely. And I think it's the same principles still apply as your kids are filling up on their plates. You're at a Thanksgiving buffet. It's still like, oh, you got to have your vegetables. Make sure you have some of the turkey. Make sure you're still doing the exact same things that I would be any other day. And I think if they eat a nourishing meal from that, they're absolutely allowed to have their treats. I'm still going to give them the riot act on like, you can't have these until you've sort of gone through your healthy meal.
Okay, got it.
I think that still applies instead of just being like, okay, yeah, you can just take all of that out today and just eat a bunch of pumpkin pie. Like, absolutely not. You're going to need to.
You know what? I will even say for the holidays, I don't even care what my kids eat for dinner. We're all there enjoying the meal. They can put whatever they want on their plate. If they choose to eat it or not, that's fine by me. I don't care, because I'm looking at I'm still bigger picture.
You need to have a bit of everything. Like your food groups, it's still like I'm just still feel like I have to teach them those habits to make those decisions later.
Yes. Okay. I got it. I understand where you're coming from, but I'm kind of like, you know what? If they were grazing on all that food and they're sitting down at Thanksgiving dinner and they're not hungry.
Fair. If they've been grazing the whole time.
Yeah. I'm not going to make them eat. And I want them to be able to enjoy the setting with their family above everything else. So if they choose not to eat, that's fine. But they know that we're not serving other food afterwards. This is dinner and this is what we're eating for the rest of the day. Yeah. We're not going to be serving more food half an hour later. If you're hungry, eat. If you don't want to eat, that's fine. But we're not serving more food afterwards. And if they choose not to eat and they still want their pumpkin pie, I'm even okay with that. Wow. No problem. Because even as a child, there were times when I didn't want to eat. I didn't feel like that food. Did I feel like pumpkin pie? Yeah, I did. And like I might feel like that sometimes now. And so I'm just going to allow them to follow their hunger cues. It's one day and that's fine by me.
Yep. It's same thing. Like as long as it's something that I'm not seeing, it's like a bad habit that's constantly coming in. Like my kids around the holidays can have a very slippery slope. Christmas more.
Yeah.
Because it's like all the time. There's so many things that are coming in.
Yeah. It's a week or two long.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're just like, going crushing like chocolate for breakfast.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to do that, but I will allow them to choose what they want of the food provided at the time.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think one more thing, like what to eat during the day. We were talking about this before. Again, so you say high protein breakfast. Soup is a really good one.
Yeah, you love the soup.
I do love soup.
Yes, but and soup
Especially
is great because
fall soups.
Yeah, because
Butternut
I mean
squash
it's
soup.
like hydrating as well. You're getting various nutrients. The squash has some carbs, has some fiber. You want to make sure they're still getting in some sort of protein.
Yeah.
But soup is a great option for the
I
soup
even
lovers.
think people should serve it for dinner.
Well, we eat it even in the summertime. We eat soup for dinner. Our kids love soup.
Yes, like if it's available for the Thanksgiving meal, like that's a great way also to just fill yourself up on something nourishing and not be like, if you're worried about overdoing it on other things, then that's a great option if it's available. Go for the soup.
Yes. We always still serve lunch in our household on Thanksgiving Day. We'll never skip it. And so we are doing still lots of fruits and vegetables. Maybe that day it'll be something like a sandwich with whole grain bread and, some sort of meat and cheese. But lunch is always served and everyone is eating lunch.
Yes. Same with us. Again, I just would not survive.
Yeah. And then if we're skipping a meal, well, our kids are seeing that we're skipping a meal as well. And we particularly want to make sure that they don't skip meals because they will get extremely grumpy.
Yes.
And overeat like on the sugar and crash as well. So, hey, if that's your motivation for eating your lunch, then there you go.
Also, a good thing to include is your on exercise.
Yes.
If you're worried about like feeling bad, like you've overdone it, overindulged, like make sure that you have time for that.
Yeah.
And it can be a busy time. So making sure that, start your day with something active.
Waking up early, getting it in before the kids wake up.
Get those endorphins.
Yes. And we are going to be talking about some sort of physical activity or fresh air shortly.
Yeah. So maybe let's get into the next part.
On the note of food, let's talk about the meal itself and the preparation of it and the dishes that are served. Traditionally, I think a lot of us grew up with our mom or our grandma in the kitchen on their own, preparing the meal for everyone. But now we're trying to change the landscape where the preparation of the meal is more involved by other family members.
Sure. Yeah. I think if it's your love language and you love preparing the meal, again, it's just, you need to think about, how do I want to feel through this entire event? Like if it's all going to be in you, even if you love cooking, but again, if you're going to be somewhat removed from the event and primarily the one that's cooking, are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
Are you actually enjoying yourself? Just making sure that even if you're capable, even if you enjoy cooking, are you still enjoying yourself throughout the meal?
That's right.
Otherwise, get the help.
Get the help. And so what are some strategies that some families can do to reduce the pressure solely on one person?
Potluck.
Potluck, yes.
Definitely. We love potlucks, actually. We do that with our one side of the family, and it works out great because we have all these fun recipes that come in. We start like a WhatsApp chat, who's bringing what. The host is usually doing the turkey.
Okay.
And everybody has their sides that they're bringing. They kind of chime in. And it's always kind of fun to see what everybody's going to bring.
Yeah. So having people bring their own dish. And so you guys use WhatsApp. People could also use Google Docs or a shared note.
Email,
anything so that you have an idea of who's bringing what. If people don't want to bring dishes or you want to make it even easier, in our household, we just outsource the entire meal. We order it from one place that we love. We've tried many different places, but we have one.
What's your favorite?
Our favorite is Summerhill.
Okay, great.
So we always do Summerhill, and it's just made things so much easier for us. Yes, we have to reheat it. It's quite simple.
Yeah,
and my
Thanksgiving
sisters and
works very well for reheating stuff.
Yes, my sisters and I, we all worked together to navigate that, but it means that not one person is stuck in the kitchen the entire time.
Yeah,
so it makes it very easy.
Prep, because that's the other part. It's just like, it's not just cooking. It's just like your whole kitchen is a disaster.
So one other thing I want to say about outsourcing the meal is that it's not all on the host. So we divide the cost of the meal between all of the adults. Yeah. And so we do all contribute to that. And then, another thing is, instead of one person taking care of cleaning it up, you guys could, in our household, my sisters and I and my brother-in-law, we all come together and we work on cleaning up. And, it's still a social thing because we're kind of cleaning up together.
Yeah, definitely.
But one person isn't left being resentful or like the hosts aren't.
Just exhausted.
It is. Yeah, right? Especially if you're the one who is constantly hosting. It just makes it easier. I know when I go to my sister's house, we'll clean up so that when we're leaving the house, we aren't leaving a huge mess behind.
Yes. Yeah. It makes a really big difference.
Yeah. So that's it. If you don't want to be the one person stuck in the kitchen the entire time, assign dishes, potluck style, or just outsource the entire
And I think
meal.
don't feel bad about it. I think asking for that. I think most family members and most friends are often like, what can I do to help? Can I do this? Or like accept it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no, I'm good. Just say like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Help me clean up after. That'd be great.
Because really, if you are resentful of doing that, but you're modeling this to your kids and they're seeing, oh, like mom, she's the one who takes care of the meal. Eventually, they may think that they're going to have to be the one doing the meal. And then this cycle just continues.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to be hard for them
This
as well.
is how it is.
Yes, this is how it is, right?
Yeah.
So you can break that cycle.
Yes.
Scrolling through Instagram while listening? Pause and follow us at Intentional Household. We're sharing family systems, time-saving tips, and routines that actually work in real life. Okay, tidying up the house before. I wanted to say this. If you're spending the day beforehand tidying, just outsource. Get the cleaner to come.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about wasting your time. Your time is so precious. If you have a cleaner, bring the cleaner in. Schedule them in for the day before.
Yes, it's a popular date.
It is. Schedule early.
Schedule early, definitely.
Yeah.
You just want everything to look nice because it's always like that last minute. If you've done, I've had this before. Where it's like just like the last like 20 minutes where I feel like I'm doing everything, and I'm like, F this.
I know. And there's that classic reel of like, oh, my wife thinks this is the time to clean all the baseboards.
Oh, yes.
And, right? Like no one's looking at the baseboards, but
There's just something that inspires you to all of a sudden be like, everybody's gonna be looking at all this stuff. I'm gonna go through it all.
Cleaning every corner,
Yes.
scrubbing. Yeah, that's totally something that I would do.
Somewhat a little bit unavoidable, but get the help where you can.
Our Thanksgiving gatherings are so focused around the meals, but it's really about being together.
Yeah.
And being grateful for many different things, including our family members and spending time together and reconnecting. And so the question is, what can families do that go beyond sitting together for the meal?
Yeah, I think that's actually a really great point and actually would help like balance things out as somebody that's like, again, going back to what we were just talking about, overindulging and everything, just take the focus less on like away from just the food part of it.
Yeah.
And focus on the other parts that could be very fun. So we were talking about you can actually go for a really nice walk.
Yes.
It's fall. It's a beautiful time.
Yeah.
If the weather's great, family walk would be lovely.
Yeah, that's something that we do in our household. And because in Canada, it's close to Halloween. And so often the Halloween decorations are already up. So after dinner, we will go for a walk around the neighborhood looking at the Halloween decorations.
Yes, we used to do it at our Thanksgiving, actually, my uncle's cottage. So it was so
that
nice.
would be really nice.
Yeah, you just go, just beautiful, beautiful scenery. And again, it just feels healthy to be out in the air and not just sitting around and eating.
Exactly. And if you have freed up that person from being in the kitchen all day, now it means the entire family, potentially, if you're not going to go after dinner, you could even go before dinner because all family members are available to go out for the walk.
Yeah. And it can be a nice tradition.
Yes. One thing our family likes to do is we always go apple picking. So it might not be the same day as our meal. It may be the day before or the day after, but we will go apple picking or to a pumpkin farm.
Yes, I used to do the same. And then we like bring something, like get a pumpkin pie or an apple pie and bring it to the thing. Kind of stuff. Very festive.
Yes. Or even just going to the local park or where there's a field and you could play an outdoor game or activity together.
Yeah, certainly if there's kids, like a whole bunch of kids, like getting them outside is great. It's a great idea. Great idea for adults. Certainly would encourage that as an activity.
And you even talked about charades.
Yeah. I haven't done this, but I was just thinking about how fun that would be.
It would be so
like
much fun.
A whole family charades game.
Yeah.
You need somebody to kind of organize it. But again, I think
Easy.
it just keeps things away from just focus on eating.
Yeah. And bring a lot of fun to the household.
Yeah. It would create some new memories, especially if you're involving like grandparents or like older people in there. I think they would have a hoot.
Yes. I love the idea of that. And I might even propose that.
I think I'm going to as well.
Yeah.
Definitely. I have to get it structured, but I think people would really, really find that really fun.
Yeah. So some sort of family involved component.
Big game of Jenga or something, like just something to take the focus away from not just sitting and eating.
And like any family gathering, there are always the family dynamics that members are navigating.
Definitely. It's hard to not have them in a large setting with family members. Happens.
Yes. So what are some things that we can do to keep the tone nice and light and so it doesn't get too heavy or too heated with interactions and family members?
Yep. Stay away from discussing politics and things like that. It's just maybe not the time or place. And just, being mindful of making sure that there's something that won't cause a negative reaction or conversation, really.
Exactly. Like one suggestion that I heard from a professional is if you have an issue with a family member, think of it as a business relationship. Try to keep it as, professional as possible. You don't need to get into the nitty-gritty of your issues with one another. That's
certainly
not the time
that
to do
day.
it.
Yeah, certainly not that day. You're not solving anything.
Yeah. And it goes beyond your issue, right? Think about all the family members who are there, the kids as well. You don't want to set that tone or be responsible for it.
And I think sometimes older people can sometimes forget these things. Honestly, they just get a little bit more senile.
Yeah.
And they can say really offensive things. And you have to be very careful with those things I remember my grandmother, she would be one that'd be like, do you really need to eat all that food? You know what I mean? Just being no filter. no filter. So just coming prepared for those things to just kind of brush it off, change the subject.
Yeah.
Maybe even give your kids a little pep talk before.
That's right.
Of manners and being respectful and all of that sort of stuff before you arrive and yourselves and your husband and everything. Keep you cool.
Yeah.
It's just to make sure that the event is still a memorable and nice occasion.
Yeah. 100%.
Nobody's perfect.
And you're there to show gratitude. It is Thanksgiving. One of the things that we like to do in our household is before the meal, we will go around the table one by one to talk about or to share what we're grateful for. And the kids love doing it and they anticipate what they're going to say in advance. So it is a nice little activity that family members can do.
That is supposed to be the feeling or the sentiment of that occasion. So absolutely trying to get them back to thinking about that. Just being with your family, appreciating them, not focusing on any of their flaws, and feeling gratitude for everything that you have.
Yep, 100%.
I really liked what you talked about with the gratitude, and we do the same, but I was just thinking about another way to incorporate family and make it into something that is even more memorable in a way is actually writing it down and having a book.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And then you kind of keep this book for years to come and everybody can almost a guest book.
Yes.
Everybody a gratitude book.
Ooh, that's great. And because, if we're trying to encourage storytelling, which is one of the episodes that we previously had, and storytelling and self-reflection, this is a great opportunity to write things down and you could pull out the book every year.
Yes, and read it. And wouldn't that be nice if you had your grandparents contributed something and those are their words still there?
Yes.
After the years, I think that would be a really nice memory.
Oh, I love that. Having that designated Thanksgiving book.
Maybe we need to make one.
Yes. That's okay. I love that. And then really it can remind family members, just bring up some memories, and then it can help to just spark that conversation.
Yeah, just kind of captures the spirit of the season. And I think, a great way maybe is around the table, you kind of pass the book around and everybody writes their thing and then they can read it or they can just, again, it can just be a guest book at the front. And then maybe somebody reads some of the things. But it's just a nice way to capture it and have a memory that's more than a picture.
That's really nice because what I'm realizing being a parent is that with all of these special occasions and holidays, the traditions that we have are something that are so important to our kids and they look forward to it year to year. They remember things that we've done in the past. So being able to either carry on traditions or start our own traditions of things that we want to do is something that would be really wonderful for the family and just a nice activity for them to look forward to.
Yes. And especially if you have elderly parents that are aging, it's kind of really, you start to really realize that time is short and having and just being very grateful to have them there and, documenting how they were feeling at the time would be a really nice memory to have and include. And I'm sure your children later would this book will be important.
Yeah. I love that.
Let's do it.
Okay.
I'll take a picture of me doing it.
Yeah, we'll have to sort the
we'll
notebook.
Do an Instagram story.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
We got to figure it out. We got to find one. We got to find it. I bet you it exists. gratitude journal.
We'll have to look into it.
They do. They must. And then we have to order it for Thanksgiving.
Mhm.
And then we'll post it on our stories.
Well, you know what? Maybe we will have it as like a tool created for this episode so that people can download it, or it gives them some sort of structure or guide.
Okay. Prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So really final thoughts about Thanksgiving and being together. It really is about being together and enjoying your presence with your family and being appreciative for what you have, right? Like, you don't need to be perfect. It goes beyond the meal, and it's meant to be enjoyable for all family members, and do what you can to reduce the stress.
Yes. Again, all intentional living, being intentional about the holidays, removing the things that would impact you negatively, whether it's like, again, if the food is an issue for you and you end up previous Thanksgivings, that makes you feel bad after, how are you going to change that this year?
Because,
and then everything else, how are you going to make sure you're not stressed out hosting if you're hosting? What can you do to make it a memorable thing? So just going through those things ahead of time and feeling like it's the best Thanksgiving you've ever had.
Yeah. Kind of like what you were trying to communicate, like with all activities we do, reflecting on it so that you can make the next family gathering or the next Thanksgiving even better.
Yes.
Thank you so much for listening to the Intentional Household podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Join us on Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest at Intentional Household, where we're sharing even more tips, tools, and resources to help your home run with more ease, intention, and joy. Until next time, here's to creating a household that supports the life you want to live.